welcome to Alternate Route TV. I am your host, Reb Landers. Alternate Route TV, brought to you each week by the Alternate Route magazine. We are on location today in beautiful Clifton, Virginia. Singer-songwriter Randy Thompson.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Welcome. Thanks for having us down here. It's beautiful here. Beautiful.
Well, thanks. I love my town, Clifton, Virginia.
You from here?
Population 210.
You from here all your life?
I've lived here almost my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've lived here since I was 8 years old. Know everyone in town, and
so you grew up on coal miner
anywhere else. Coal miner music.
You grew up on country coal miner.
Not so much coal miner music. I mean, there's no coal mining in this part of Virginia. This is Piedmont. There's always a lot of bluegrass here when I was a kid. Blues players.
John Jackson's from around here.
Right, John Jackson was, when I was a kid, he was, my idol. He was a local legend, and he died in '02. Oh yeah, I used to carry my guitar over to his house. So I'd go up the power lines, hike 5 miles, go up the power lines, and just knock on his door, and we'd pick. And he was a
uphill
great guy.
Both ways, right?
Uphill both ways.
Uphill both ways.
He was just a great guy, and yeah, I still miss him. He died 8 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, one of my biggest influences.
Well, you can hear it in the music. There's a lot of there's a lot going on in your music anyway. I mean, there's some blues influence, some bluegrass influences.
Right.
I mean, songs like "Old '97."
Right.
That's got
That's an old Virginia song from way back. I got a cool story about that song, and the reason I put it on my last album, I've always played that song, but my grandfather lived in a little town called Lynch Station, Virginia, down near Lynchburg, in between Alta Vista and Lynchburg. He was born in 1893, so he was older when my dad was born, but my grandfather was born in '93, so when the wreck happened, when the wreck of the old 97 happened, he lived right there on the track. Well, he was 10 years old, and he used to go out to the tracks every day, and he knew what time each train would come by, and he would wave at all the conductors. In fact, his brother was a conductor, my Uncle Jack, and learned how to say, he got in trouble on the rail line for learning how to say "watch your ass" with the steam.
Yeah.
he made it sound. He made the whistle sound like "watch your ass." But anyway, that's a different story. But so my grandfather waved to the 97, he knew that train, what time it passed, and he waved to it the morning of the wreck.
No way.
And I didn't know that till,
wow.
Really after I cut that song. I have that song on my last album, and but I was like, man, that's a cool story for press.
That's a great story.
I've always loved the song, and it's my family is from Southern Virginia, and has been down there for over 200 years. And that song is from that area right near Leesville, Alta Vista, Lynch Station.
Yeah.
Just south of Lynch.
Didn't Ricky Simpkins play fiddle, that fiddle solo on that?
Yeah, on the recording of that? Yeah.
How'd you hook up with him? Just studio?
Ricky Simpkins, I've known, how did I first meet Ricky? I've known him many years, I guess through friends of friends, but I've played with him for maybe the last 12, 15 years. That type of fiddle player, where he can play that bluegrass style, but just that real gut-wrenching, rip your heart out kind of way that he plays. He's my favorite fiddle player.
Yeah,
it's hard to get him now. He plays with Emmy Harris full time.
Yeah,
and so whenever he's available,
Emmy Lou's a working girl.
Yeah,
Emmy Lou's she's working. Songbird on that album was written by Steve Young, wasn't it?
No, I wrote Songbird.
You wrote Songbird?
Yeah, I dedicated that to Steve.
Oh,
Young.
that's it.
Yeah.
I knew there was a connection somewhere there. Yeah.
Well, Steve Young, was my idol when I was a kid. When I was 13, 14, Steve Young, who, for people who don't know, he wrote Seven Bridges Road. He was one of the original alt-country Americana guys in the early 70s. Made his first record in '69. He was on a major label. He was on RCA all during the '70s. But when I first heard him, I was like, man, this is the real deal. So he was kind of through my teen years, Steve Young was my idol.
Yeah.
And yeah, I dedicated that song to him. I guess for no other reason other than when I wrote it, I thought it sounded like something he would have written. And
Here you go.
I met him in Europe when I was about 23. I was backpacking in Europe with my ex-wife. Wasn't my ex-wife then. But we were backpacking. I think we did 3 months that time, and I was on a train up in northern Norway, and I'm going through this paper. It was all in Norwegian or whatever, and see Steve Young's face. So I was like, oh, cool, man. And so I asked this guy sitting next to me, and he said, yeah, he's playing here in this town, Trondheim. So we got off the train with our backpacks and went over. This is, I think, 1983, 4 maybe. And Steve was happy to see an American. He'd been on the road for a long time, so we ended up just sitting up all night talking. And
cool.
Ever since then, we've been really good friends, and he's.
Yeah, you know, we were talking earlier, and there's, I guess, this idea of maybe touring Europe with him.
Well, we have talked about that a couple of times.
That'd be hot.
That'd be really.
That'd
fun.
be really, really hot. You know,
just doing a acoustic thing.
Yeah.
That two of us.
And two good ones, two really good ones. Now, further on, it's been out. We're talking 2008.
Yeah.
You've been writing?
That's the new album.
Yeah.
It's funny how new albums get old really fast. Yeah, I've been writing I have half a new album done and recorded, and it'll probably take me realistically it'll be a year before I have a whole new album out. I'm getting ready to release a new single in Europe, for this tour I'm doing in the fall in Europe. I want to release a single before I get over there, but the album won't be. It'll be a year. I'm slow. I have a 2-year-old now. And
yeah, I was gonna. You know, that's come about since Further On came out. So
yeah.
You got
well, he was born that year. Yeah.
Has that changed the way you write?
Well, you think about baby stuff, and I have 2 older sons too, and I remember when they were born. For a couple of years, I was not writing as much. But you find yourself sitting around playing, kid songs. Playing Wheels on the Bus, and
you know, you gotta know, kids' albums are a great way in. I'll tell you, they sell.
Yeah.
You know, kids' albums do really, really, really well. Dan Zanes has done a children's record, and Ellis Paul has done children. Madonna did a children's record.
Is that right?
You know, Bruce Springsteen's doing a record now.
Hey, I just heard that yesterday. Now that's one I'll listen to.
Yeah, for sure.